72 points, 12 first-place votes. The defending Patriot League champion Bucknell Bison with head coach Frank Fedorjaka, the reigning coach of the year. He's won that award now 2 out of the last 3 years. Coming off a season where they won a program record, 14 victories overall, a 6-0 record in the Patriot League last season. Of course, the overtime loss in the first round of the NCAA tournament to eventual national champion Virginia. So, Coach Fedorjaka, an opening statement, if you would, please.
Yeah, wow, I'm surprised we got that many first-place votes. It's quite an honor. Obviously, it's preseason, but we're now going to have a target on our back. But I guess that's better than the other way. So we'll embrace it and take it for what it's worth. And there's been a lot of nice things said since last year, which has been great. It's been great for the program. It's helped us take another step with our recruiting. It's been a little bit easier. We haven't had to maybe find as many diamonds in the rough in the last 7 or 8 months, which has been good. But we're just focused on this upcoming year. I'm really proud of our team with how hard we've worked. We've been able to keep a chip on our shoulder, I think, in large part due to how our NCAA tournament game went. Last year we won a lot of games. We won all of our scrimmages that we played in the fall last year. We won all of our spring scrimmages. We won a lot of games. We barely lost when we lost. So, everything kind of went the way we needed it to last year. And so our team learned what it took. We worked extremely hard. It wasn't a whole lot of fun. To be honest with you, it was just a lot of work, and it was worth every minute of it, and our guys will say that. So this year, I'm proud of the fact that we picked up where we left off, and at a place like Bucknell, that's not always the easiest thing to do, is just to keep working hard. But I've been real happy with our senior leadership and where we're at right now.
Coach, this is James from the Patriot League again. You open the season at home on the 11th against Delaware, and then you go on the road for UMass, Villanova, and Navy. That is perhaps as daunting a first 4 games as any Patriot League team is going to have this season on any of the 7 schedules, and especially yours with those, after that first home game, those next 3 are all away from Lewisburg. So just talk a little bit about the early portion of your schedule and what you hope to see out of your club those first couple of games.
Yeah, our number one goal is always to win the Patriot League tournament, and in order to do that, I think you want to try to host it. And so obviously to do that, you want to win your Patriot League game. So that's our number one priority. And Navy being on March 3rd at Navy is the most important game of the year right now. So we're sorry, Ricky Soul, but we're doing everything we can to try to set ourselves up to play well in that game. And so we're going to actually scrimmage at Ohio State next weekend. And from what I've learned, Ohio State has never lost in the Jesse Owens in the football indoor stadium there. So I've already talked to Coach Myers, and I told him that Bucknell is coming to try to be the first team that beat. We told him that we're going to go there and beat them, which obviously is ludicrous if it was a real game. But we want it to be as similar to a real game as possible. We want it to be a heated environment so that we can get ready for our game at Navy on March 3rd. So at UMass, at Villanova, home against Delaware, hopefully those all help us get a little bit ready for Navy, and we'll see what happens on there. But we've got 12. I just counted while we were on this phone call. 12 of the top 31 teams ranked in the country on our schedule this year, but none of them are in the top 10 because frankly, nobody will accept an invitation. I mean, I've called every team ranked in the top 10 a minimum of twice a year to see if we could just go there for one game on the road, and nobody's taking us on. So I guess from teams ranked 11 to 31, we're playing 12 of them, and we're one of those 21 teams. So we're playing just about everybody that you can play in there. So we're excited about our schedule. We added Delaware, UMass, and Drexel this year.
Coach, I have a follow-up for you on that, and my question to you is, and I think that, that's kind of an issue that extends to schools at the Patriot League level across a lot of sports, is when you have a really good season like you guys had last year, suddenly when you want to go out and you want to play those top 10 teams, be it in Lewisburg or at their place, wherever it is, anytime, any place, you find it really difficult to get a game. Is that kind of the double-edged sword that you have after a season like you had last year?
Yeah, absolutely. And I was kind of hoping that after the season we had, it'd be a little easier. We've been trying to get these teams. We were ranked high, and it's like in the past, if you lose to Bucknell, it kills your season, and if you beat us, it's no big deal. I think now, at least with our schedule and at least where we've been ranked, it's probably more of a helpful team to play. But we're one of those teams that's really hard to prepare for because of all the different ways we ride and clear and play defense. So it's kind of like it's a little bit irritating to play us, and that's kind of the way we draw it up, and it's part of what we do. So I think that's also part of it, But yeah, we had Duke on the schedule, and then we lost to them in overtime, and they stopped playing us. We had Maryland on the schedule, and then we beat them, and then they stopped playing us. Of course, Virginia will scrimmage us every year, and Carolina will scrimmage us every year, but we can't really get them on the schedule. So it's been ongoing, and hopefully someday we'll be part of that. But we'll just do what we need to do, I guess.
All right, thanks, Coach. Any other questions from our media contingent here for Coach Fedorjaka at Bucknell?
Hey, Frank. Ken McMillan with the Times-Herald Record.
Hey, Ken.
Hey, Frank, just sort of tell me, what are some of the strengths of your team this year? What's going to make you guys good?
Yeah, we have a lot of guys returning on the offensive end. Even though Charlie Streep went down with a torn ACL in the fall, he's been rehabbing and plans on coming back in mid-March. We only lost 2 guys off our team last year on the offensive end, one attackman and one midfielder. They were both good players, very good players. But we have a lot of depth on offense, which is pretty rare for us. So we've been able to move some guys around. I think our strength is probably our attack now that we moved Billy Eisenreich down to attack. We have a true lefty finisher in Todd Heritage and a true righty finisher in Chase Bailey and a true quarterback in Billy Eisenreich. Billy got drafted in the 3rd round of the MLL, and I think that's probably where he belonged to be drafted. He's one of the top 5 players I've ever coached in my 23 years, on offense anyway, and he's a pretty dynamic player. So I think attack is our strength. So I would go with that, yeah.
Frank, I'm sure you heard Coach Alvarisi before you. Is he playing Bear? Does Army still have what it takes to beat?
Yeah, I don't think the coverage that Bear, although they did lose a lot. I mean, I can understand why, he has, he says that because the players that they lost, even those short stick D-middies were so good. Not one person talks about those guys. And then throw on, Henderson, and their goalie was so good. I mean, we barely beat them or barely lost to them for his 4 years, 3 years as a starter. And I remember he set a Patriot League record in the tournament, having 17 or 18 saves, and I think he's got like size 25 shoe. I think he wears like 2 pairs of shoes over his regular shoe. We couldn't get it by him, so losing him and Boltus. But no, I think they have a lot of terrific players. They always have guys that are big, strong, fast, play hard, and when you have that in our sport, you're going to be competitive. I mean, Jim Morrissey opened up everything, talking about how they just needed to get physically stronger and bigger and tougher, and Army has that. They always will have that, and they have some pretty good players. So I think they'll be good enough to compete with anybody in the country, and certainly good enough to win the conference.
Frank, do you like the idea of having the target on you guys as the number 1 team? And is there any fear of overconfidence for your team, given how well they performed last year, up to the end?
Yeah, I think that's a legitimate concern. I think that's a great question. I'd rather not have a target on our back, but I mean, it could be worse. I mean, we're flattered to be there, but it really is just all based on last year, I guess. I don't think our guys are going to let it get to their head, just based on how hard we've worked in practice and what our goals are. I mean, we have our goals to win the league and everything, but our whole team really believes that we can win the national championship. The odds are slim to none that that'll happen, but I think it's possible. I think last year, it was possible, and so we're going to go for it. And so that they're not just worried about, winning a Patriot League game. They want to win every game on the schedule, and in order to do that, they've got to work hard every minute of every day. And I think we've done that. We're a little bit worn out. But I think when it comes time to play the games, we'll be battle tested, and we'll have that confidence. I mean, you have a target on your back because you've had success, and so it is a double-edged sword. But the good news is our guys have all tasted that success, and they know what it takes, and they know what it feels like, and most of them know what it feels like to be on the losing end. So. I think we're in good position to handle whatever comes our way.
Frank, you've been around the league here. Is this league trending in any sort of direction, whether it be style of play, quality of recruit, etc.?
Yeah, well, I think it's just similar to the rest of all of Division I. There's just so many good players out there and not enough programs for them to go to. Even like right now for us, we're recruiting and we're saying no to a bunch of really good players that in years past we would never even consider saying no to. And I think the league is, across the league, everybody's doing a terrific job with recruiting. The coaching is terrific. There's a lot of dynamic coaches in the league that do a lot of different things. And Joe Alvarez mentioned how close all the Patriot League games have been for Army, in their last 3 years. So there's a lot of balance in the league, and it has come a long way. I mean, I was here in 99, and Navy was, I don't even think Navy was in the league at that time, but we were just really trying to establish ourselves, and I think everybody has really gotten a lot better. Everybody can compete on a national level now.
And on the same vein, if you had to characterize play in the Patriot League, is it, are all the teams trending in the same strategy? We have 7 diverse types of teams in this league.
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. I think the teams that have had success, have done it different way. Army, Navy, Bucknell, Lehigh, and Colgate, and then even Lafayette a couple years ago. Lafayette did it with offense. Colgate, I think, for the most part, has done it with offense. And then Army, Navy, and Bucknell have done it primarily with defense. So I don't know if there's a trend, but I think, we've all had our and then Lehigh, I think Lehigh has done it with their offense, and they've been knocking on the doorstep. They're so close to being so good. There's as good an offense as there is. So you got 3 teams with great offenses and 3 teams with great defenses. So I think the trend is it's kind of either one or the other, and as soon as a team puts together both, I think that'll be a team that goes to the Final Four, because I think our defenses, the good ones, match up with any defense in the country, and then those offenses match up with those real good ones, match up with any in the country.